Okay, let's try to attempt broadcasting now. We've had to restart the system over and over again. We've had to do so many things, switched from one internet source to another, and it seems like same thing happens each time. Well, this time around, let's just try and see if we could manage through. I want to believe that, you know, that things will sail better than the first two attempts. My name is Oluwa Mayomikum. If you're just joining us, this is News Spy, the compilation of news headlines making rounds today in Nigeria. Alright, so if you're just joining us, thank you for joining us. As always, I shared the first one, the ones that was truncated. I shared the first one on my timeline. I will share the same on my timeline now as well, so that my friends can also join in the broadcast. We have a very rich compilation for you today, so please don't get tired of sticking with us while we work on our internet sources. As I can tell you on this show, we use about 3 sources of internet, switching from one to another in case one is not. But I think we'd have to maybe call on the providers to probably come and work maybe on their base station or something around here. I don't know. But we'll work that out. We'll work that out so that we can serve you without any break, without any fluctuations in our internet sources. So thank you so much. I can say that someone already joined us, and I'm sure others will join us very soon. So I salute you for your patience in sticking with us while we seek to bring you this broadcast. Okay, I'm sharing on my timeline. As soon as I do that, yes, I'm sharing now on my timeline. Okay, I think we can do the news now. All right, welcome to news headlines today, Wednesday, 20th of September 2017. President Muhammadu Buhari yesterday sought the assistance of the global community on his administration's efforts towards fighting corruption and recovering stolen assets. The president made the demand in a statement at the general debate of the 72nd session of the United Nations General Assembly in New York, the United States. Buhari assured the Assembly that Nigeria will cooperate in addressing the growing transnational crimes such as forced labor, modern-day slavery, human trafficking, and cybercrime. He said while these cooperative efforts are being sustained, strategies must be collectively devised to stop fleeing ISIS fighters from mutating and infiltrating into the Sahel and the Lake Chad basin, where there are insufficient resources and response capacity is weak. President Buhari assured the international community of Nigeria's firm and unshaken commitment to democracy in the country and the African continent. He said the frontiers of good governance, democracy, including holding free and fair elections and enthronement of the rule of law, are expanding everywhere, especially in Africa. Buhari also described the widening inequalities within societies and the gap between the rich and the poor nations as part of the underlying root causes of competition for resources, frustration and anger leading to spiraling instability. Nigeria, listen to this, it will interest you. Nigeria has entered into an agreement with 3 companies on the promotion of indigenous research on food seasonings and ready-to-use traditional soups. Yes, we want to now take our soups, our seasonings, further. I'm sure many of you know or have relations outside this country that each time they find someone traveling over, they say, you know what, let me get those spices, those pepper soup spices, let me get dawa, let me get ugiri, let me get this. I think we should take it beyond now. There is hardly any country you get to that you won't find one Calabar kitchen or something. So I think the federal government is trying to, commercialize this and make sure that it adds to the GDP. So let's continue. Federal government on Tuesday in Abuja signed the Memorandum of Understanding with the companies to commercialize indigenous food products The MOU is to guide the companies on commercialization of indigenous research and breakthroughs on food. It will also guide publicity and creation of awareness for the promotion and utilization of indigenous research and development breakthroughs. Minister of Science and Technology Dr. Ogbunaya Ono said the effort is to enhance the nation's gross domestic product and close technological gaps in industries. The companies are Tiger Foods Limited, Lensot Consult, and Lashon Links Communications Limited. That's a good one. You might see it as inconsequential, but it is. We all eat every day and we like the spices. So why not actually do it in such a way that even, even the whites will want to come and ask us for, that spice or that soup, how it's being made and all that. And many of our women and even men are very gifted in making these delicacies. So why not actually take it to another level? Meanwhile, Kogi State is to flood the markets with rice and fish by December, following the mass production of the products by the state-owned Omi Agricultural Development Center. The center, situated in Yagba West local government, will be out with Confluence rice. Remember, we had one, the lake rice, which the Lagos State government and KB government, put their heads together. And last Christmas, they brought, they were able to sell a lot, of this rice. Now, Kogi State is saying they are also following suit with Confluence rice. So watch out for it. David Ape, the special advisor to Governor Yahaya Bello on agricultural and rural development, announced this yesterday. According to APE, necessary arrangement for the December deadline for the rice to hit the market has been completed. The OMI project also has about 500 fish ponds already developed for massive fish production. APE expressed optimism that fish production will boost the effort of the state government to feed the people of the state and the nation at large. He also said that plots of land have been cleared and allotted or allocated to youths and other interested groups in the area to grow different crops. I believe with this initiatives, we would achieve food security very soon. Yobe Commissioner for Agriculture, Mohammed Gajirema, says the state government will empower farmers in Nguru and Muguram with irrigation scheme before the end of the year. Gajirema disclosed that work on the construction of channels from the Nguru Lake is almost completed. The commissioner said that the government constituted an irrigation task force project to promote 12 calendar month farming activities in the state. He said that the water channels are being constructed to provide farmers with water from Nguru Lake. And according to him, this will help to improve the economy and enhance food security. He said that farmers will cultivate wheat from November to March, while rice will be cultivated between April and October. He said the state has 500 hectares of arable lands in Nguru and 400 others in Muguram for gradual expansion of the irrigation system. The commissioner assures that government will support wet season and irrigation farmers with inputs to promote agricultural production in the state. That's the way to go. Speaker of the House of Representatives Yakubu Dogara on Tuesday in Abuja urged Nigerians to refrain from activities capable of exacerbating the consequences of climate change. Dogara made the call while declaring open a two-day public hearing on a bill to amend the National Environmental Standards Regulations Enforcement Agency to provide for and adopt clean air policies. The event was organized by the House of Representatives Committee on Environment and Habitat, represented by Deputy Minority Leader of the House, Chukwuka Onyema. Dogara expressed concern over environmental devastation, particularly the current flood-raging parts of the country. He called for concerted efforts to save the environment and Nigerians from devastating effects of greenhouse gas emissions, discharge of untreated harmful effluents, and deforestation. Independent National Electoral Commission has commenced continuous voters registration in Madagali local government area of Adamawa State. According to Kasim Gaidam, the state resident electoral commissioner, Gaidam, who spoke in Yola yesterday, said the exercise was initially stopped following Boko Haram attacks on villages in the area. He said the registration followed intensive stakeholders meeting between security agencies, government officials, and elders from the area, adding that INEC has finally fixed today, Wednesday, September 20, to start continuous voter registration in Madagali. He announced that a total of 86,631 eligible voters had earlier been registered across the state. He said there are about 130,000 unclaimed permanent voter cards in the state and appealed to genuine owners to come forward and claim them. Economic and Financial Crisis Commission has opened a fresh probe into how the Paris Club loan refund was spent in Bauchi, Delta, Cross River, and Nasarawa states. The Nigeria Governors Forum is said to have taken about 5% of the total money under the pretext that it is being used to pay some financial consultants. However, the EFCC discovered that after the monies were finally paid into accounts of the state, some governors allegedly made fresh deductions again under the pretext that they had to pay more consultants at the state level. The federal government had in January released 522 billion naira to the 36 states of the Federation after the state governments submitted their claims of over-deductions for external debt service arising between 1995 and 2002 to the federal government due to the first-line charge deductions from Federation Account Allocation Committee allocations. The commission has also arrested a consultant with Mountain Crest Investment Limited for allegedly receiving $3 million from the Nigeria Governors Forum. The commission, an EFCC source disclosed that the commission has applied for the forfeiture of 1.2 billion naira, which has been frozen in the account of another consultant, Melrose General Services Limited, which received payment from the governors. Vice President Yemi Osinbajo yesterday met behind closed doors with the governor of Abia State, Okezie Ikpeazu, at the Aso Rock Presidential Villa in Abuja. The meeting with the VP, who had earlier had a meeting with the Inspector General of Police, Ibrahim Idris, is believed to be in connection with the recent clash between soldiers and members of the indigenous people of Biafra in the state. Meanwhile, Abia State Governor Okezie Ikpeazu has said that he will not dethrone the father of the indigenous people of Biafra, IPOD leader Nnamdi Kanu, as being called for. The governor said this in an interview with journalists after a 30-minute closed-door meeting he had with Vice President Yemi Osinbajo. Ikpeazu says he has clearly separated Kanu from his father, noting that the processes of handling traditional institutions are enshrined in the laws of the land. He added that traditional rulers have their own leadership, which will take action at the appropriate time. The governor also told his kinsmen that any war will jeopardize the lives of 11 million Igbos living in other regions. According to him, there are Igbo currently residing everywhere across the country, including Sambisa Forest in Borno State. He alleged that some people attempted to hijack the recent activities of IPOB in the state in order to cause conflagrations in the whole country. Ikpeazu said he briefed the VP on the violence by IPOB, adding that the Southeast governors are still trying to stabilize the fragile peace in the region. He says the governors from the region are banking on the assurance by northern governors that every part of Nigeria is safe for all Nigerians, including Igbo, to continue with their businesses. Federal government says it is aware of the sources of funding for the indigenous people of Biafra and is taking steps to block them. Minister of Information and Culture Lai Mohammed disclosed this on Tuesday on a live TV program. The minister disclosed that most of the countries supporting the group are doing so in ignorance, as they have been hoodwinked into believing that Nigeria is a country where Muslims persecute Christians and a country where there is genocide. The minister charged the international community not to adopt a double standard in dealing with IPOB and to be more diligent before making any pronouncement. He said what the countries would never accept in their territories should not be condoned or encouraged in Nigeria. Meanwhile, Anambra State Police Command has expressed its resolve to enforce the proscription order on the indigenous people of Biafra, IPOB. The command reminds IPOB members that the punishment for belonging to such terrorist organization is death, Addressing newsmen in Oka on Tuesday, the Commissioner of Police, Garba Umar, warned that any person or persons involved in the activities of the proscribed group will be arrested and charged to court. Expressing gratitude to the state government for its immense support, the CP appeals to parents and guardians to warn their children and wards to steer clear of IPOB and its activities. Nigerian Air Force has deployed some of its air assets to give cover to ground troops currently on Operation Python Dance 2. They are deployed to assist the Nigerian Army 115 Special Operations Group in Port Harcourt. The Director of Public Relations and Information NAF Headquarters, Air Commodore Olatokunbo Adesanya, said this in a statement in Abuja yesterday. Adesanya explained that it is in line with NAF's commitment to national peace and security, as well as providing the necessary air cover to the ground troops to enhance overall operational cohesion and efficiency. He explained that the wide expanse of area which the exercise covers necessitates the request by the Nigerian Army for close air support. The operation began officially on September 15th and is planned to cover the entire southeast region of the country. Meanwhile, Ebonyi government has declared support for the ongoing Nigerian Army exercise Python Dance 2 in the Southeast Zone and Rivers State. Governor David Umahi declared the support when he received the Chief of Army Staff, Lieutenant General Tuko Buratai, while urging the Army to keep to its rules of engagement. Represented by his deputy, Dr. Kelechi Igu, Umahi notes that there is a misconception of the exercise by some people in the region. He said that the first phase of the exercise, which took place in the zone between November and December last year, recorded success without any reported case of human rights abuse or molestation. On the proscribed IPOB, Umahi condemned the activities of the group, saying perceived injustice must not be addressed through violence. He also called the army formation in the border between Ebonyi and Cross River to address recurring communal clashes in the area. Earlier, the Army Chief restated that the exercise is designed to sharpen the skills of personnel to be able to deal with internal security issues. Ratai stressed that Egu Eke was carefully planned in the interest of the Southeast and not targeted at any group, saying that security is key to development. He said that alongside the exercise, the Army will render humanitarian services such as medical outreach and sanitation in various communities in the region, while urging people to show understanding. Meanwhile, the People's Democratic Party, PDP, has cautioned the All Progressives Congress-led government to stop the blame game and tackle the agitation by IPOB. PDP says APC should do some soul-searching and correct anomalies, claiming that the ruling party's policies sparked off agitations. In a statement on Tuesday by its National Publicity Secretary, Dayo Adeyeye, the PDP points out that no opposition element is working against the government. The party stressed that APC should learn to mold itself into a real national party, provide good leadership for the people, and let the generality of Nigerians feel safe. Chairman of Capital Oil, Ifeanyi Uba, has said that only the court will determine the authentic candidate of the People's Democratic Party in the November 18 governorship election in Anambra State. Uba, at a press briefing in Abuja yesterday, insists that Oseloka Obaze did not emerge through a transparent, free, and fair primary. He alleged that the primary was a fraudulent exercise, adding that he will not allow himself to be rubbished by the outcome of the exercise. Uba described the outcome of the PDP primary as a sham, adding that he will be approaching the court to determine the legality or otherwise of the PDP primary in the state. Association of Resident Doctors in Kaduna State said on Tuesday that its members will proceed on an indefinite strike from October 2nd. President of the association, Dr. Joseph Nasta Jokshan, who made the announcement at a press briefing in Kaduna, said a 21-day strike notice has been forwarded to the government after a Congress meeting of the association on September 9. He said the ultimatum is to compel the government to implement the 2011 agreement it entered with the association. The agreement was on funding, equipping and staffing of hospitals, salary payments, residency training, and implementation of corrected, consolidated medical salary structure, among others. NAD president explained that the doctors in the state are overstretched with doctor population ratio at 1 to 4,000 as against 600 recommended by the World Health Organization. Electricity workers under the auspices of National Union of Electricity Employees have shut down commercial activities at Lagos's two electricity companies, ECO and Ikeja Electricity Distribution Companies. The workers who arrived at the Alausa Ikeja's office as early as 8 a.m. on Tuesday singing solidarity songs prevented workers, including top executives of the company, from entering the premises. Even customers who had come for one matter or another were ordered to stay away pending the resolution of their demands by the federal government. Although the company's head of corporate communications, Felix Ufulwe, said Ikeja Electric was not part of the strike, only security men were seen informing visitors about the strike all day yesterday. Similar development was replicated at Eco Electric, Broad Street, Lagos, where workers who had resumed for work were turned back. Meanwhile, tanker drivers failed to load fuel at designated oil depots in Lagos metropolis. At Apapa yesterday, skeleton activities were noticed at NIPCO, also. Petrol tankers were seen forming long queues with no sign of loading. At major oil marketers' depots in the same axis, including Mobil, Total, and Wando, there was also no loading. Lagos Zona Chairman of National Union of Petroleum and Natural Gas, NUPENG, Tokunbo Korodo, revealed that the union is in total compliance with ULC's directive and that there will be no loading until the union receives the signal from the national executives. Similarly, Nigerian Union of Railway Workers, junior workers also embarked on a sit-at-work strategy as part of their solidarity to the ongoing strike. Also, aviation workers yesterday paralyzed activities at major airports in the country to express their opposition to the concession of Lagos and Abuja airports. The unions are the Air Transport Services Senior Staff Association of Nigeria and the National Union of Air Transport Employees. The federal government had last week announced the concession of Murtala Mohammed Airport, the busiest airport in the country, and the Nnamdi Azikiwe International Airport, Abuja. However, the workers are rejecting the proposed concession, which they describe as fraudulent. At the MMA in Lagos, members of the unions embarked on a peaceful protest to kick against the plan, even as they called for the head of Aviation Minister, Senator Hadi Sirika. Other unions which joined the protest are National Union of Pensioners, the FAN branch, and Association of Nigerian Aviation Professionals with other stakeholders in the aviation industry. The workers assembled at the Freedom Square as early as 8 a.m. on Tuesday, bearing placards and chanting solidarity songs to drive home their rejection of the proposed concession of the airport. They also built a coffin-like structure with the inscription, "Sirika must go." Addressing the protesting workers, Secretary General of National Union of Air Transport Employees, Comrade Olayinka Abiyoye, said concession is not the solution to the infrastructural decay at the airports, blaming the development on political interference. Meanwhile, federal government on Tuesday said it has approved the concession of Kano and Port Harcourt airports, as well as transaction advisors for the process. Minister of State for Aviation Hadi Sirika disclosed this while speaking on the certification of Nigerian airports at the ministry's headquarters in Abuja. On September 11, Vice President Yemi Osinbajo said the Federal Executive Council had approved the concession of the Murtala Mohammed Airport, Lagos, and the Nnamdi Azikiwe Airport, Lagos. Osinbajo, however, did not mention the Kano and Port Harcourt airports, but Sirika yesterday, while commenting on the latest certification of the MMA by the Federal Airports Authority of Nigeria, notes that the Federal Executive Council has also approved the concession of both Kano and Port Harcourt airports. Port Harcourt Electricity Distribution Company and Holly Metering Limited have signed a pact to fast-track the supply of prepaid meters to customers in its franchise area. Holly's Vice Chairman Ifeanyi Okeke, in a statement issued in Abuja, said the partnership will strengthen and enlarge meter delivery to electricity customers across Bayelsa, Rivers, Cross River, and Akwa Ibom states. With the pact, Okeke says his firm is bringing in superior metering brand and technology to Nigeria to support the electricity distribution companies by eliminating losses and at the same time giving customers new positive experience. Federal University of Agriculture Abeokuta FUNAB, Ogun State, has appointed Professor Felix Kolawole Salako as its new Vice Chancellor. In a statement signed by its spokesman, Adewale Kupoluyi, the Governing Council of the university also appointed Dr. Hakim Adebola Adekola as Registrar and Chukwuwike Ezekweazu as Bossa. The statement quotes the Pro-Chancellor and Chairman Governing Council of the university, Dr. Abokizawa, as saying the process was guided by rules, regulations, and the act establishing the university. The Vice-Chancellor designates Professor Felix Salako, who joined the services of FUNAB in 2000 as a senior lecturer and moved up the academic ladder to become a professor in 2006, was born in Lagos in 1961 but hails from Ibadan, Oyo State. He is a professor of soil physics in the Department of Soil Science and Land Management, College of Plant Science and Crop Production of the university. The Director General, National Youth Service Corps, Brigadier General Sulaiman Kazaure, has condoled with the family of a former Director General of the scheme, Yusuf Bomoy, who died on Monday in Abuja. Kazaure, who paid a condolence visit to the family in Abuja on Tuesday, along with top management staff of the NYSA, said the death of the former DG was a rude shock to the scheme. The Director General assured the family of the late Bomoy of the scheme's total and unflinching support at its time of grief. Bomoy, who died after a brief illness, has been buried according to Islamic rites. You may recall that Bomoy was the second S-Corps member to head the NYSC scheme. He was appointed the 13th DG of the NYSC on October 29, 2004. He also served in various capacities in the Nigerian military. Daredevil gunmen have shot dead a police inspector, commander of Kaduna State Vigilante Group, and abducted two young girls at Shika area of Kaduna State. Confirming the incident, the spokesperson of the Kaduna State Police Command, Mukhtar Aliyu, said the police, during the early hours of Sunday, received a distress call and immediately dispatched its personnel to the scene of the crime. It was during the exchange of fire that the police inspector and the vigilante commander lost their lives, while a police corporal and other residents sustained gunshot injuries. The father of the deceased vigilante commander, Mohammed Gali, disclosed that armed men numbering about 50 stormed the residence of his son, Mustafa Gali, shot him in two places, and abducted two of his daughters. Federal government has reconstituted the Investment and Securities Tribunal as a practical step towards restoring investors' confidence in the capital market and repositioning it to contribute positively to the country's economy. The Investment and Securities Tribunal was dissolved in compliance with the federal government's directive on dissolution of boards of parastatals, agencies, institutions, and government-owned companies conveyed in a 16th October 2015 circular. The reconstitution and inauguration of the Investment and Securities Tribunal is expected to enhance its effectiveness and efficiency in handling the daily rising number of the new cases in the capital market. The reconstituted 10-man Investment and Securities Tribunal, which has Isaiah Idoko as the chairman, was inaugurated on Tuesday by the Minister of Finance, Kemi Adeosun. Other members are Jude Uduni, Nusa Osewinge, Abubakar Ahmad, Albert Oteshile, Emeka Madubuike, Kasumi Kofi, Edward Ajayi, Onyemechi Elujeko, and Maman Zagana. Speaking at the inauguration, the minister says the delay in reconstituting the tribunal was to enable federal government 135 billion naira. They offered that it will sell 14 naira. It will also sell 2.28% to mature in March 2027. All the bonds on offer are reopenings of previous issues. Nigeria created. All right, I'll start again. Okay, maybe we will, and maybe if we continue my house, then we go on with time. Bank of Agriculture and Nigeria provide financial services to 5 million farmers across the country over the next 2 years. Managing Director of BOA, Kabir Adamu, made the disclosure on Tuesday in Kaduna after the bank signed an MOU on policy and multi-sector partnership with the consultancy firm eWorldWide Group. According to him, the effort will increase women's financial inclusiveness, employment opportunities, and increase food production. On the MOU signed, the managing director said it is to provide funding for automated and technology-driven services to beneficiaries. Nigeria Customs Service on Tuesday says it has imported exotic bulletproof vehicles which were imported into the country without payment of duties. Comptroller General of Customs, retired Colonel Hamid Ali, stated this while addressing journalists in Abuja on the seizure of the vehicles. He said 18 suspected small vehicles were seized from a car dealer, Kefiano Motors Limited in Abuja. Out of the 18 vehicles, Ali stated that 13 are bulletproof and did not have the mandatory end-user certificate, which is usually issued by the Office of the National Security Advisor. He said the least of the cars is valued at 70 million naira, while the most expensive one is estimated at 280 million naira. He gave the breakdown of the 18 vehicles as 2 Range Rovers, 1 Rolls Royce, 4 Lexus, 3 G-Wagon, 2 Prado, 1 Lincoln Navigator, 1 Infiniti, 1 Mercedes-Benz 4MATIC, 2 Toyota Sequoia, and 1 Toyota Camry. Ali said with the 18 impounded vehicles, the service has now confiscated a total of 283 vehicles in the last 2 months. Giving a breakdown of the seizures, the customs boss said 135 vehicles were seized from Lagos, 93 from Kaduna, and 37 from Port Harcourt. Assistant Comptroller General Nigeria Customs Service Zone B, Aminu Dahiru, said on Tuesday that the commencement of international flight operation from Kaduna Airport will boost revenue of the zonal command. Dahiru said that it is a good development for the customs service, while stressing that the service has strengthened its capacity across the zone to prevent smuggling and ensure that all revenue due to government are collected. I think this should be the last story now. The management of Dangote Industries Limited has launched a passionate appeal to members of the public to assist in monitoring both the recklessness and the illegal haulage of contraband goods by some of its truck drivers. The company has also set up hotlines for the public to call in and report such truck drivers with a promise to appropriately compensate calls that lead to arrest of errant drivers. Well, all those hotlines, I mean, the numbers and the email, we'll post it on our timeline so that you can access them. Okay, on the last note, Benin Kingdom in Edo State has resolved to formally kickstart an academy for arts, culture, and tourism to revitalize the Benin cultural heritage, which is in systemic decay. Omonoba Nedo Uku Apolopolo Oba Iwari II announced the plan when he played host to some theater groups in his palace on Tuesday in Benin. According to the monarch, works are near completion at the site of the academy, which will be named Benin Royal Academy of Performing Arts. The Oba said aside the teaching and learning of various Benin cultural heritage, the academy will also teach deeper proverbial and interpretations of Benin traditional heritage in rhythms and arts. Okay, we've been able. All right. Oh, we have people who joined us today. Thank you. Akinjide Fadeyi, thank you so much. Keep up the good work with all the attending challenges. Thank you so much. It's very, very encouraging to hear such support and such encouragement despite. And I'm happy that eventually we did not give up, and because of that, we were able to have our broadcast. The internet eventually behaved. And Oga Charles Okola, thank you so much. Okay, you're marking register. I'm present though. Yes, I acknowledge you. Thank you so much. He is Oga Patapata of Roots Radio. He's based in the US and transmits live to Nigerian audience particularly, and of course every other person from the US. Oga Charles, thank you. Okay, exceptionally camera ready beauty. Thank you. Thank you for the encouragement. Okay, please do us a favor. Feel free to share this on your timeline so that many people can avail themselves. I mean, when we wake up very early, okay, let me not tell you when I wake up. I wake up very early. Very, very, and I mean very, very early when the cock has not crowed at all. And then we compile news. For instance, today I think we have like 31 news stories, no, 30 news stories, and these are stories on major headlines. Compile them, put them together, arrange them in such a way that it will be exciting to listen to, exciting to read, and it would inform you. You know, when we put all that together and then the internet is messing up and all that, so the least you can help us do is to encourage our ministry by inviting others to like this page, by sharing it on your timeline so that others can avail themselves of this information. And you see, I think in time, this will become an archive that people can refer to if they need to clarify a story or need to understand or be informed about, oh, which day did this story happen and all that. You know, you can always refer to this page and get a hang of things. So thank you so much. We appreciate you joining us. This is how much we can take today, but I believe it's much already. Join us tomorrow. We would hope to actually fix all and bring it to you early enough, but if not, you can bet that at least before this time we would have actually delivered news to you. We're also going to upload this on our YouTube channel, so you also can access it from there. Thank you so much. It's been a lovely pleasure having you on News Bites. Enjoy the rest of your day. My name is Oluwa Mayomiko. God bless you.